Hey, second grade, welcome back to writing. Happy Monday. We're going to go ahead and get started with finishing some of our reading for our mentor text today. So let me go ahead and share my screen for our writing. We are on writing day 4 for lesson 5. So writing day 4, lesson 5, we are on step 3. We are trying to still read and gather evidence. So today we are with Herschel here, and we are thinking it through, reading and gathering our evidence still about wheels and axles, and we're going to learn more about friction today and why machines are useful. So make sure you have your iReady writing book and a pencil with you today, or paper or whatever you need to make sure you're following along and getting your information to be being able to write a lab report. So our objectives today are I can read and understand 2 source texts, I can locate details to use in writing, and I can identify text features, which we've been talking a lot about in close reading, so hopefully text features are coming easier to you. So we are going to be looking at our iReady book today. We started page through 136 on Friday. So today we are going to be continuing on page 138. So we have learned about the mechanical advantages of using axles and how it helps us using a wheelbarrow so it's not as heavy. So we're going to continue reading today so we can read about, I see this subheading, this right here is called Wheels and Friction. So I'm going to go ahead and get started reading again so we can gather more information. So follow along as I read so we can better understand what they're talking about. Wheels and friction. When 2 objects rub against each other, they create friction. Friction slows movement. Imagine dragging a garbage can down the driveway. The can scrapes noisily along as you pull. The noise comes from the friction between the bottom of the can and the driveway. The more friction there is, the harder it is to pull the can. Would wheels make that job easier? You bet. It's easier to roll a heavy object than it is to drag it along. Wheels reduce friction because the wheels are going to rotate, right? So how is it possible to reduce friction? I told us right back here in our text, it's easier to roll a heavy object than it is to drag along. Wheels reduce friction. So in order to reduce friction, all you have to do is add wheels to an object. All right. Why would square wheels on a car create friction if they were square and not round? How would that create friction? Well, the wheels wouldn't roll, would they? They would just get stuck. So it would have to be dragged, and dragging creates more friction, which makes it really hard. So we want to always have round wheels so that it's easier. All right, so when a writer wants readers to understand important words, sometimes they use bold print to draw attention to the word. On this page, we see bold print for the word friction. The word friction is important because it helps the writer or the readers understand the word because it gives us part of the definition, right? When 2 objects rub against each other, they create friction. So your hands like this, if you hear it, that's friction because your hands are rubbing and creating friction, and it slows the movement, okay? You can move your hands faster than by themselves than if you were to rub them. All right, so let's go ahead and keep reading to find out more about this topic on page 138. 138. I see this nice diagram here. All right, so we'll come back to that. Useful machines. Machines like the wheel and the axle make our lives easier. Sometimes they show up in the most unexpected places. For example, did you know the screwdriver is a wheel and axle? The handle acts as the wheel when it's turned, and the shaft is the axle. Oh, I didn't know that. I learned something new. Think about how doorknobs, pizza cutters, and faucet handles work. Take a walk around your home and see how many useful wheels you can find. So you can see up here, this picture right here is actually a really good example. It's just showing us pictures of what the text said. So some examples of simple machines given in the text are faucets, pizza cutter, screwdrivers, and doorknobs. There's a wheel, something to be turned, and an axle, something that holds it in place, right? So in the faucet, you have the faucet where the water comes out is the axle, and the wheel is the knob. The pizza cutter, the wheel is what rolls, and the axle is what you hold. For the doorknob, the axle is what pushes into the door, and the wheel is what you turn. That's pretty cool. I never would have thought about them as a wheel and an axle. These machines, they make our lives easier. That makes us have to do less work. So, how does the writer end this article? If I look at paragraph 9, it says, think about how the doorknobs, pizza cutters, and faucet handles work. Take a walk around your home and see how many useful wheels you can find. The author ends it by pushing it on to us to help us go ahead and apply it to our lives, right? So it makes us feel more invested and interested in what we read about because we can find it by and around us, right? So was this a good way to end it? Yes, because it leaves the readers with something to think about and go and do, right? So it makes them continue thinking about what you wrote and become more interested in it. So awesome job. This has been a little bit more information about wheels and axles and how they're useful machines. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. We're going to continue reading one more article tomorrow to find out more about our lab report information so that we can apply it to our experiment. So happy Monday, and I will see you back tomorrow for the rest of our writing.